No, of course.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Super excited to be here for sure.
Nice, man. We're happy to have you. Start of the season coming up, right? Next month's the first one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's your guys' season run? So obviously October, but until when?
So we start right after moose season.
Okay.
And we finish before the salmon run.
Ah, smart.
So yeah.
Very Alaskan planned. I like it.
That's exactly right. So we start. Usually our first fight is in the first week of October. This time it's October 13th.
Yeah.
So it's in the second week because Friday the 13th we thought was fitting to have a show on Friday the 13th. So and then we do it monthly after that, except for December. We take December off
just for the holidays.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then when does salmon season start?
I don't even know. I think it's my coworker goes and fishes.
So we finish in April.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
April's the last show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
May
so
time.
6 shows.
Yeah.
Nice. And then why the break? I know because like the other promotions up here, like they did seasons also and take breaks.
You mean the break? Which break? December or the long break?
No, the long break.
The long break. Well, that in our season description of starting right after moose season before the salmon run kind of speaks, tells it all right there.
Yeah.
Alaskans get cabin fever, and in the summer they want to travel.
Yeah.
And so it's real hard to it's hard to draw a crowd like you do if we do an annual event. Something cool outdoors or something like that would work, but otherwise it's tough to get a committed crowd to come to the fights in the summer.
Yeah, that makes sense. It'd be hard to get like fighters too, I'd imagine, just trying to plan that around summer activities.
It really is. You got to plan way ahead. I've done a summer show at the cannabis competition, a big cannabis cup in Wasilla.
Yeah,
and it was actually it was pretty successful. It was pretty successful, but it was a huge event.
Yeah.
So we were more entertainment at the event than being the event itself.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously the season's coming up in a month now. Summer's winding down. You guys, any big plans you guys did over the summer?
Well, I've been working pretty hard, and we are gonna. And you guys will be the first to know. So
nice.
You'll be the first to know. We are going to live stream our first show.
Oh, nice.
And so we have a really outstanding fella who does the live streaming, and he's just real stand-up guy, and he's got a really good resume.
Yeah.
And so we got him on board, and we're super excited about this. Will be the first show that we live stream.
Yeah.
So.
And where's the live stream going to be? Like a website or like Facebook or something?
So it won't be Facebook,
okay.
But there's 2 different ones that we're kind of toggling between, and so when we do make that decision, though we'll announce it.
Nice.
I mean, we just announced it now that that it's going to be live streamed, but the platform that we use will be announced when we'll let it out here soon.
Nice. You got other details on it? Like, is there a paywall, anything like that, free to the public?
There will be. How much and all the exact details haven't been worked out, but for it to make sense for us, there will be a small fee.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be a fee.
Is there you probably wouldn't know, but I guess you would now. Is there a fee for live streaming? Like, or does it depend on the platform you use?
Depending on the platform you use. So we've done quite a bit of research on this now before we went with the direction that we have so far. And there's a big variance on whatever platform you want to use. Some of them, they want a percentage of your sales.
Yeah.
And some of them, they want an upfront fee and a percentage of your sales.
Yeah.
And so it can get pretty steep. We've seen everything up, as to where people want 85% of the pay-per-view and to run it on their stream because they believe that the attention that they bring is worth that.
Oh, man. I don't know.
That's a steep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, that's not the people we went with.
Shit. I don't blame you. Real quick, we're recording audio, right?
Yes.
We're getting all that perfect. I don't blame you. I wouldn't go that route either.
Yeah, too much.
Nice. So, how long have you been promoting fights? Like, when was the first one?
2011.
Really, that long?
Yeah.
Was it MMA then too, or was it just boxing, or something else then?
There's kind of a little story behind that.
Nice,
but
let's hear it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when we first started out, we had intended on doing MMA and boxing, and then there was an existing promotion that wasn't real happy about us doing MMA in the Valley, and so they wanted to put a stop to it.
Yeah.
And so our very first show, to avoid conflict, we actually, all the MMA fights that we had planned, we had pulled the fighters aside and talked to them, and they decided to do Muay Thai.
Oh, all right.
And that was how we got into Muay Thai.
Yeah.
In Alaska, I think we're the only ones that do Muay Thai to legit Muay Thai, WBC Muay Thai rules.
Yeah.
And so, which is really cool. I love Muay Thai. But that's how we got into Muay Thai. And then that was our first initial. We wanted to do it. We did MMA in a ring for some time at a previous brand that we had, the AK Tuesday Night Fights.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. We did both MMA, Muay Thai, and boxing in a ring, and it made sense for the time that we did it. We had a weekly show, but we decided to go ahead and change things up. We changed our brand. We're once a month. We're in a cage.
Yeah.
Which we're really happy we made that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah.
Nice. What made you get into promoting in the first place?
Well, I've been a fighter, a boxer.
Yeah.
My whole life.
Okay.
Since I was 7 years old, and not fighting, it's tough to not be in the game.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted to give back to the fighters, and that's why, as a promoter, it's been not always in my, I've always been soft on the fighters. I've always really been worked hard to try to keep fighter safety number one, to try to make sure fighters are, taken care of, to make sure that they're the number one most important thing, and make sure the real even matches. I work really hard.
Yeah.
To match people equally.
Mm-hmm.
It's better for the fans and for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it helps these fighters progress properly as well.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what I got into it. I just wanted to stay in the game, and I wanted to be as close to it as I could be without fighting myself.
Yeah. And then, so you started boxing at 7. Are you originally from up here?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So where'd you start boxing at?
Denali Boxing Club.
Is that out in the valley?
Nope. It was in Anchorage. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm a born and raised Anchorage / Valley guy, back
Yeah.
and forth. But most of my youth, all my amateur boxing was with Denali Boxing Club in Anchorage here. And we had like 6 clubs right here in Anchorage.
Yeah. At the time?
So, yeah, at the time.
Okay.
It was, a lot of fun.
And that's not around now, is it? Denali Boxing Club, or is that still a thing?
No, unfortunately, Coach passed away, and his son and his daughter-in-law, they did have a gym for a while, but they don't any longer. There's only a couple amateur programs here locally, unfortunately.
Yeah. When did you guys switch from Muay Thai and bringing in other stuff, or was Muay Thai just the first year, or did that run on for longer?
So Muay Thai was like just the first couple shows.
Okay.
And then we just went. We also had MMA. We were like, hey.
Yeah.
We have just as much right as anybody else. So we did MMA and successfully. There was nobody was ever injured as a result of doing MMA in the ring. We've had hundreds of shows.
Yeah. When was the last time you had a boxing fight?
Oh man, it's 10 years.
10?
Yeah.
You know what? Someone at my work asked me today, and so I work with kids, and I feel like at a weird teeter-totter age to where like my kids are teenagers now, and I'm like looking at them, I'm like shit, like I'm like the old person like I thought my parents were, but I still feel like a young buck. I still feel pretty, young inside.
Feeling spry.
Feeling spry. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I know a perfect place for you to try it out.
Oh my God, no! I've left those days behind. You ever bring some jiu-jitsu grappling matches? Then I'll try to prove how young and spry I actually am. But this guy, who turns out is 2 years younger than me, asked if I was like 38 years. He said he thought I was 40 years old, and I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, there's no fucking way that you thought I was 40.
No.
And
No way.
He felt bad after saying it, but shit. And the day before, he's this big Samoan guy, and we were walking. He's telling me how gaining weight where we eat, because they feed these kids like kings.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he gained like 40 or 60 pounds, and he was like, yeah, I went from. He misspoke when he said it, but he said he went from 260 to 3 something. And he was like, oh wait, no, I went from 360 to 4 something. I was like, there's no way you weigh fucking 400 pounds, man.
No.
Because he's a big Samoan guy, so. I guess like I'm maybe like a little on the tall side.
How tall are you?
I'm like 6'1", but it's
Okay.
pretty
Yeah,
average, right?
I think
But-
the
Well-
average is like 5'7", 5'8".
No, not nowadays.
Not nowadays?
No, maybe like 200 years ago. And maybe in Japan.
Yeah,
You
in
know,
Japan,
but
that's probably true.
5'7",
Yeah.
5 for real. Right now, average is it's got to be 5'10".
Yeah.
Everybody's taller than me.
I was thinking
I'm
5'10",
5'9".
5'11".
Everybody's taller
believable.
than me.
Yeah.
You're way taller than me.
So yeah, 6'1", and I mean maybe I forget like I'm a little on the tall side, but and he's way taller than me. He's probably like 6'6", 6'7",
Oh,
and he's obviously a
easy.
solid guy, but not 400 pounds solid. So like I give him a pat on the back type thing. I'm like, there's no way you weigh 400 pounds. Like just like hyping him up a little bit, and 2 days later he thinks I'm 40 fucking years old. I was like, I've never been so offended.
I was gonna say, did it hurt?
It hurt.
I mean, I
like
can tell it's
it,
still with you.
It hurt enough. It's still with me, and
Yeah.
like I
I'd
had
be
to sit there and
offended.
dwell on it all day. I was like, come on,
You're
man.
still
Like,
dwelling, yeah. He's-
and right there, I was like, you're for sure 400 pounds, and I hate you.
You look every bit of 400 all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're right. You're 400.
You might even be a little bit over 400.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
and then like he tried to like play it off too. He was like, I was like, what makes you think I'm 40 years old, man? And I was like, how old are you? He was like, oh, I'm 32. I was like, I'm 2 years older than you. And I was like, what makes you think that? And because then like I'm getting self-conscious, right? He was like, oh, it's the beard. I was like, come on, now you're lying to me. I was like, is it the gray hair? He's like, and then he looks like he didn't know I had gray hair. I was like,
So it wasn't the gray.
it wasn't that. I just look 40 years old or something.
I would say 35 max.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Max.
That's why you're here.
Yes.
Yeah, also, yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
max. I mean, no, I think you. How old are you? 34.
Yeah,
You said
I'm 34. Yeah.
You look.
I turned 35 soon.
You don't look a day older than 34.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Yeah.
No.
So, if you listen, I hate you.
And that's with the beard.
With the beard,
If you
yeah.
shave
with the
that
beard.
beard off,
Oh God, I would look like the ugliest 30-year-old.
30, stop.
Yeah.
No.
I can't show my chin in public though, so I keep the beard.
I got a birthday this month.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. Man, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Later
happy
this
birthday.
month.
Yeah, a little later this month. Yeah, sure.
Nice. You want to share how? Can we guess how old you are?
Go ahead. You guess. I mean, with all this white, it's going to be,
So you said your last
boxing.
boxing match was 10 years ago.
Fuck, I don't want to guess now. I feel bad. 50?
No, go
You're
ahead.
50.
I will be. Yeah.
Really? Fuck
Yep.
yeah.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
how
right
you
on.
guess ages right there.
That's what I was
pretty
going to
good,
say.
ain't
I was
Yeah.
going to
You get a
say.
second job
I was
at
going
the
to say
fair
like
coming up.
51.
Yeah, there you go. 51?
Because my
You can't
dad's.
piggyback off.
No, my dad's like 62, I think.
Yeah.
And you look like the same age as him.
Is he wiry like you?
And he's just old. Yeah, he's like a little bit older and
He's one of those guys
taller.
that don't age much.
Yeah,
skinny.
he used to get
taller.
called George Clooney at work because he
Okay.
just
Oh, nice.
aged
I
like
feel
fine
a lot
wine.
better. I was for a second there. I didn't feel good when you were saying
No.
that. Yeah, I feel a lot
62?
better. I just was.
Yeah, he's in his 60s.
Kevin just offended me a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah,
You should.
I feel a little bit like how you did.
You may kick. Get out of here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yeah.
You guessed me right on point, which is like I'm okay. You know what I mean? I've been
Yeah.
a fighter my whole life, and so if I look my age, that's good.
Yeah.
right?
That's
a
not for
compliment.
sure, yeah.
That's a compliment for me.
But I was
Yeah.
gonna say
But
last
Kevin over
boxing
there-
match.
He said you
No,
might have
Kevin
his-
over there's like
if it's-
60.
No, I was
yeah.
saying
60-year-old
you're younger
father.
than my
And
dad
then-
for
and then
sure.
he wants
Yeah.
to spar now.
Yeah.
No,
He's like,
no.
when was the last time you fought?
You're misquoting me.
I'm just kidding.
Damn, you're at 60. How old are you? You're like 20 something, right?
24.
24.
Yeah, just turned 24.
Damn, good for your dad.
And
Do you
how
have,
old
do you
your
have
dad?
siblings?
I have 2 older siblings and then 2 younger
How
siblings.
much? Damn. Damn.
They're
How-
only younger by a couple years.
How much older are they though?
I believe my brother and sister just turned 37 and 35 respectively.
That's hard math. So he was like in
Yeah.
his late 20s when he had kids.
Yeah,
Good for him.
yeah.
Oh man, good for him. I feel like that's planned out and mature of him. Times are probably different back then though, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
How many children do you have?
I have 4. So maybe a little above
Are they pretty
average.
spread out?
Our 2 boys are 14 and then our daughters are 8 and 9.
Are they Are they grapplers?
So yes, they've all done it a little bit. Right now, one of my boys and my 9-year-old daughter are in wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just trying to keep that thing going.
There's almost nothing better for the youth today to get involved in a wrestling program.
That's what I said.
A good wrestling program, it teaches you how to succeed in almost everything you encounter.
Yeah,
It
like,
really does.
The mindset it teaches you, and I feel like that's kind of like any grappling art. Just like the pressure someone can put on you, and just everything that comes behind it. And like, you know, you could wear the saying out, but just being uncomfortable or comfortable in uncomfortable situations,
Yep.
like you're not really going to get that from other little disciplines. But like some sort of grappling, like fuck, it can make you so miserable. Like
it'll
at the
humble
time,
you before you even know
so
what being humbled means.
Yeah, just the life lessons it'll teach you.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to get them in young. My youngest daughter did it too, but she's so sensitive.
Sure.
It's kind of hard to like keep her in, because if you like, oh man, like raise your voice or do something, and she even feels like she's in trouble,
Sure.
she's crying. So then to put her in like a situation like that, like if she feels like she's in trouble or like someone's like hurting her, she'll start to cry. She never quit during the classes. Like she would go through it, which, you know, super proud of course. But at the same time, I'm like, this is probably scarring for you at the moment. Her older sister, the 9-year-old, she's like a little bit tougher and she knows she's pretty tough. There's been some times when she kind of like cried during it too, but being like a pretty, you know, a 9-year-old girl, you're pretty small. And then there's not many other young girls in the class right now.
Yeah.
So you're going with like 10 or 11-year-old boys who are 20 pounds heavier. And when you...
That's defeating.
It's
itself.
huge.
That's
Yeah.
so tough.
And even like for me, if I grapple with someone 20 pounds heavier, like it's noticeable. I'm decent enough that like you can deal with it as like a fully grown male. But when you only weigh, you know, 60, 70 pounds...
That
well,
strength,
20
that 20
pounds is
that's
huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then, like, at that age, like, the kids aren't like, they're like, oh, well, the match would stop right here. We'd reset. No, they're going to lay on you for the next 2 minutes and just smash you. And, like, they're just not going to let you work. So, so she gets in that position once in a while. And, like, when she first started, like, she'd kind of cry a little bit, but, like, still, like, fight through it. So, you know, like, of course, like I said, proud of that.
So they're grappling, wrestling.
Yep.
Do they do any striking? Do you hold mitts for them?
No. So my son, he used to do some striking classes at Legacy, but that was back when they were on Boniface, like when like Legacy first started, a long time ago. Yeah. Other than that, he just like was like full into jiu-jitsu for a long time. Was in and out of it after a few years. Like he's been doing jiu-jitsu since Legacy opened, so like 2016, 2017.
Cool. Yeah.
He was really heavy into it for 3 or 4 years, was kind of in and out of it for a few years, and then just got like back into it, but just kind of with high school coming up, and you know, you're not getting scholarships for jiu-jitsu, right? I was like, you've got the grappling background. Yeah. It's like, you have the grappling background. You might as well just start wrestling. You wrestled for a year.
Why is that? Why can't you have scholarships for jiu-jitsu? Why wasn't that a thing?
It should be, right?
It's not a collegiate sport. That's the only reason.
Yeah. One day, hopefully.
It should be.
Yeah. But there's like those like great kids.
So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. It should be though, right? Like it would be nice to open it up.
Boxing was for a long time.
There's like Taekwondo, right? Isn't that a thing? Like Joe Rogan used to teach Taekwondo at a college in somewhere, right?
I think so.
So there's stuff like that. But
Taekwondo's an Olympic sport, isn't it?
Yeah. I just watched a video of it, and I don't know how old the video was, but the guy got disqualified for like knocking the guy out, like because he hit him too hard.
Head kick.
The head kick, right? So it's going. It's going around right now.
I think I've probably seen that video. Yeah.
How is that a thing? Like, how is that an Olympic sport, right? And I mean, you're already padded up and all this, and it was just kind of bizarre. But yeah, so I was like, you might as well use the grappling background. He wrestled for the year, and it was during the COVID year, so it got cut short. But then, like, the years after that, he didn't get back into it. But now high school's here, he's back into it. That was an easy way to get my daughter into it. I was like, your brother's going. You'll have, like moral support there, like, on the mat with you. Found a great partner for her at the gym right now.
Nice.
So it's her size, fairly new wrestler also. So it's been going good. So right now it's just once a week, though. But I figured that's enough. Because I used to, like, push my son to where like I feel like I burnt him out, like it'd be every day type of thing you'd be going, but he was on board with it, so like I made the mistake of just kind of kept pushing it, kept doing feeding exactly.
It's hard to not feed.
It is, right?
Your child's want, if it's something healthy like that,
especially really like since it was like my want too.
Sure.
Like I used to like grapple and had MMA fights and same with you. Like I just wanted a way to like stay in that world.
Absolutely.
So like, what better way to live vicariously through my kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he was all on board, and then like slowly, it started to like burn out. So now with my daughter in it, one day a week.
One day, yeah.
When you're ready, we'll go more. Maybe this week we'll go twice, but not if you don't want to.
Sure.
Just once a week. Let's just commit
once
to once
a week,
a week.
Maybe a seminar or something cool here and there.
Hey, if there's something that comes up,
Yep.
I feel like, because right now it's like in between the seasons, right?
Okay,
For like the comp season. Once that season starts back up, they say like more girls are involved in the class.
Sure.
So once she gets to like a little girl her size and her age, I think she'll want to go
game
more.
changer.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Right now you're in a class with 20 little boys.
The fact that she's even still going speaks for itself.
Yes. And part of it's because like it's like daddy's a little girl type of thing. So like she knows it makes me happy, so it makes her happy.
Yeah.
And like as long as I don't make the same mistake like I made with my son, then we'll be good.
Well,
She could do it.
Sounds like you're on the right track.
Yeah, we're working on it. You got kids?
I love kids.
Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Nice. How old are your kids?
I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a 36-year-old, and I have my youngest is 17.
Nice and spread out, huh?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So it's awesome. I have 5 grandchildren.
Yeah.
And the grandchildren are the best.
Yeah.
You can't start out with grandchildren. They're awesome.
One day I'm sure I'll feel like that too. Since you started so young, did you get so obviously by the time you had kids you were already in it, and maybe even like getting out of it. When do you put your kids in like combat sports of any kind? Let them choose it, or
I used to have a small gym in the valley called HKU, Hard Knocks University.
Okay.
And just a little 2,000 square foot. It was actually the whole downstairs of my house was a gym. It was legit though.
Nice.
10-foot ceilings, full mirrored walls, nice wood floor. I mean, it was nice. It was a nice facility. But and so I started a boxing class, and I started doing all different types of things, and like box aerobics, boxing, things like this.
Yeah, hold that up a little.
Hold the mic up a little better.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. And then we started training fighters. We started training MMA classes, and we brought in some awesome Muay Thai coaches and some good grappling coaches, and so I was fortunate enough to learn from them.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Oh man, that was 2013.
Okay.
2014
Is when it started?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just awesome.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
How long did that go on for?
And then my kids, to answer the question, my kids got involved in that.
Oh, through that. Nice. How long did you have the gym downstairs for?
A couple years.
Yeah.
Yep, 3 years, I think it was. It turned out to be 3 years. And then running a gym, working full time, running a couple businesses.
Yeah.
I have the fights. I also have a CBD infused products company, Santa Voss. Little plug there. Santa Voss.
Yeah, go for it.
So Santa Voss, and we make some amazing CBD infused products. And between that, the fights, and you spread yourself really thin.
Yeah.
And the gym, and we were training primarily a lot of fighters and a lot of kids. I did some anti-bully boot camp and stuff like that, which was awesome. That was probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. Was the anti-bully boot camp. It was amazing. And then we ended up moving and getting rid of that house and moving elsewhere, and the gym ended up kind of fading away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Well, like you said, like being spread so thin, like once you move to like to have to like rebuild it and start over, like it's just added more to the plate, right?
People don't understand what it takes to really genuinely run a gym.
Yeah.
These hats off to all these gyms that have been around as long as they have and doing as well as they have, and the coaches that dedicate and sacrifice their time.
Yeah.
You take all these coaches, like for instance, ABJJ Coach Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
How long has he been doing that? For a long time. And he it's not all roses, it's not all, awesome stuff. There's some growing pains, and there's, sometimes people don't want to pay their due pains, stuff like that. And so these guys, all the coaches at these gyms that have been established for as long as they have, I know David Carey at ABA, those guys, they sacrifice a lot for the students at the gym, and so hats off to those guys. People don't understand how much work that really is.
Yeah. Gee, I couldn't even imagine. Well, someone, I think it was maybe in Florida, they asked me, I wasn't on like great terms with I feel like the gym owner in Florida for, honestly, who knows why. I just felt like it was never great, but I think part of it was like, one, I didn't like want to be under him because I had my own instructor back here when I moved to Florida for a year. So I think that didn't sit well with him. And part of me thinks like he thought I was just there to like maybe like start up my own gym. and like just be a part of his and get people. Because one day when I told him like I didn't want to be,
he felt threatened by it.
I think so. Yeah. And you know, we just never like sat down and actually had a talk of exactly why I was here, what I was doing, and why I didn't want to be under him. Yeah. But he just asked me, "Is like, are you trying to open a gym?" And I was like, "No way!" I'm like, I don't have like the patience for it. Like one to like, you know, it's opening the gym. Like for the most part, like you're gonna start off teaching all the classes, right? Like it's gonna be your responsibility. And like, I hate teaching. Period. Like I when I do because I have to.
It's so hard.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Exactly.
I mean,
right?
Josh puts in a bunch of hours at the gym, and he's one of 4 of coaches at AGA.
And that's the gym side of it. There's a business side of it too.
Exactly,
so when he goes home, he's still working.
Oh yeah.
You know, people don't realize that.
Yeah, too much for me. Like I don't have like the patience or anything to go along with that to do something like that.
There was a time where I was doing like private lessons, and I was doing like box aerobics classes. You know, you do whatever you can to get people in the gym, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And you do 2 or 3 of those a day, on top of training fighters.
Yeah.
And I got in really good shape. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I got in really, really, really good shape. But it was pretty taxing too.
Yeah.
You know, very little recovery time.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it was tough.
Yeah, like physically taxing, mentally taxing.
Holding mitts for some beasts like Tyler Milner.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He throws some of the hardest hooks, and he'll rip your shoulders off if you don't hold them right.
Yeah.
And so, just doing back-to-back fighters, holding mitts for guys and stuff like that, it's a lot on the body.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that either. So lots of credit to all those coaches out there still holding mitts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got started in boxing yourself, I mean, obviously it was quite a while ago, being 7 years old. Do you remember if that's something that you wanted to get into? Like, what were your interests in boxing at the time?
I was a couple of reasons. I was really poor.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't afford hockey. And some of these other sports that just cost so much. So we were really poor growing up when I was really young. And then I got to look at boxers when I was that young, like Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes and some of the best fighters that ever lived, Hagler, and watching these guys come up. And I mean, guys that probably you guys, Livingstone Bramble and Boom Boom Mancini. I mean, some of these guys were just some of the Thomas Hearns, best fighters that ever lived, boxers, right? Yeah. And I saw them, and it was something that I could do. $15 is all it cost to sign up for amateur boxing. $15, that's all I needed. A pair of tennis shoes and a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. And I looked up to these other boxers that I seen. They came up the way I wanted to. You know, they didn't have much when they started. A lot of the fighters that I just named, they started out, poor as well.
Yeah.
And so they worked really hard work. I mean, I was a kid running the street, running outside before school at times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was serious. I wanted to go somewhere with it, and that was why, I got into boxing.
Nice. That's why I got into baseball as a kid. Like, we couldn't afford other sports.
Oh.
Like, we went to, like, sign up for football, I think. Like, I remember being, like, in, like, the line or, like, the area they were signing up for it, and it was so expensive. And then all of a sudden, I was in baseball because it was, like, $50 or something for the Polar Little League in Mountain View. Like, it was dirt cheap. And honestly, I don't even think half the kids paid. I think they were just like, if you want to sign up, sign up.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
There should be more of that.
There was, and shit, like, they were good too, like, back then. But I feel like that's the reason people get into, like, it's the reason people should get into, like, the combat sports now.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu, like, there's still gyms in town. Like, AGA is like $100 a month.
Yeah.
And like when I first started at Legacy, and I honestly couldn't tell you the price of the other gyms, but it was $100 a month when, like you said, like hockey. Like even today, like who the fuck can afford hockey?
It's unbelievable. Ice
it's
time.
So expensive.
Dude,
it's ice time, gear.
My son played
so much gear.
My son played comp hockey.
Oh,
it was unbelievable. I mean, it was so time wise, and I mean, just the money, the cost for the ice time and the skates and the sticks, and I mean, those sticks they're no joke. You know, they were $160 a piece,
and they break like a twig.
Oh yeah, they got to have the really good flex. You know what I mean? And
every year they outgrow all of that stuff that you have. So like, if you're not just getting like the rented gear from like the team, Like, man, and
It was
Going to
ridiculous.
play it again every year, returning it,
Yeah.
getting new gear.
Yep.
Shouldn't
We did
back
a lot of
then,
work. We
you
did a lot
had,
of business with them. For
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
yeah, back then you had Sports Authority up here too. If you wanted like new stuff, and
I
like 'cause
miss
at the
Sports
same time
Authority.
when Sports Authority was here, like Play It Again was like pretty much only used stuff.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't until Sports
Right.
Authority went away that they started getting like
A bunch of new
a
stuff.
lot of new
Yeah.
stuff, which is great now because
goodness.
it's the only sporting
Yeah,
store
right.
Yeah.
here, right?
I miss Sports Authority.
Yeah, it used to
It'd be
love
nice
it.
to have an option.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to put a Dick's there, and then they put Duluth.
Shit, I thought so too because
There
Dick's
was-
bought.
that was the rumor.
Thing. Yeah,
That was the rumor.
What a bummer.
But it didn't happen yet, Dix. They got a
Yeah.
lot going on.
Yep.
And then like other sports too, like football's pretty expensive, but I feel like the prices come down like comparatively to what it was like when I couldn't afford to play, because my sons have been in it, and it was pretty affordable at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like little girl sports, like if you want to put your daughter in a sport,
Oh, like gymnastics?
exactly.
Gymnastics.
What a
I wanted to do
rip-off.
gymnastics when I wanted to try it out. I'm like, man, that was awesome. I was pound for pound. I was a strong little dude. I was a very, very
Shit,
small
and
guy.
gymnastics
Right?
would only help with that.
Oh, I was all about it. I used to do the rings in elementary school. I would play on them and do some cool stuff. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. I wanted to do this. Had my
Yeah.
mom look into that. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
boy. It's
Yeah,
hey,
right.
it's
Yeah,
just
right.
no different today. My
No.
daughters were in it up here, and we won't say the name of the place, but it started off already expensive.
Right.
And then, like every so often, which seemed like it was every month, they were like, "All right, now you're level." You start at like level 0, and they're like, "Now you're level 1." The price doubles, and when you get to level
Stop.
2, the price doubles, and level 3, it just continues to add like $100 a month.
Sounds like a pyramid scheme.
It's all a la
It's a
carte.
pyramid scheme.
It's all a la carte. She's going to be on the balance beam today.
Yeah, that's what it
like
was.
it's going to cost a little more.
Today, at level 1, they get to go on the trampoline or something. And so we let it go on for a little bit, and like you didn't really.
Well, how
go,
much did that cost?
Man, honestly, I think we were paying for both of them like over $400 a month.
Stop.
And hey, that's what I said. We had to stop.
Wow.
And like the worst part about it is like little girls like and dance is no different, ballet is no different. Little girls love these things, right? And my daughters are such little girls and little princesses and want their hair done and all of this. But like for those sports, like they hook them, and then they're just like, "Hey, parents, sorry, we're gonna rob you.
You're going to kill your child if you don't pay for all this.
I was gonna kill myself. I had to sign back up and double again. The last straw was once you get to like level, I don't know, 4 or something, it's like their competition level.
Yep.
Where you can start competing. But to compete, you have to buy their leotard. You have to buy something else. You have to pay another registration fee. You had to do a fundraiser when you're already paying for everything.
So what's sad about that, and this is one thing I love about boxing and really combat sports in general, because if you are really in need and you're showing promise and you really want something, I don't know a gym out there that isn't going to work with the kids' parents to try to get them, try to get them in there and find
I
a
agree.
way, I mean, I always did. But what the really sad thing about that is there is some real talent out there that aren't getting the opportunity because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer. And I think, I know a lot of people out there who are pretty generous, and I would like to see each one of these gyms should have a fund that people can give into for the person that can't, the kid that can't make dues that month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A slush fund that we can all give into at each of these gyms. They should have one for the kids that aren't going to make it that month, but boy, they really need to. They're progressing well. They're showing up on time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're showing promise. Those kids shouldn't be turned away from being able to continue to do something healthy that's helping them.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think if there was a good avenue like that to where we can get that to the kids, I think I know some people that would probably be pretty happy to support that.
Yeah, there's probably some parents at these gyms too that would do it too. Just they walk in and
for sure,
could be like, because it could be like their kids' friends, like they can't afford it,
like a pay it forward type thing to the.
Hey, and they might be doing it already, but I mean, I'm just bitter about gymnastics. But like, it was too much. I had to tell my daughters like in gymnastics, like there's not really a season to where like you can't go practice anymore. Like it's year round. I told them the season was over. I was like, yep, sorry, and it's never starting back up again.
Sure.
But final straw. They make you fundraise, right, when you get to the competition. And like I said, you're already paying for everything yourself.
Now you got to sell stuff.
And you have to sell stuff. But here's the kicker to it. You have to buy it all first from them. So like say there's $1,000 or more worth of stuff. You give them the $1,000, and then it's on you to go sell to get your money back. And right then I was like, shit, girls, gymnastics season's over.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu season just started, and it's forever. And oh man, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that sounds like a pyramid scheme for sure if I've ever heard it.
Hey, there's no lack of people going into that gym either, I tell you that.
You know what's kind of getting back to MMA and stuff. You know, one thing that Alaska and how in my quote unquote season.
Yeah.
Right. One of the first things I learned about MMA as a promoter is when I wanted to bring fighters up here from the lower 48. They don't have seasons.
Yeah.
Nope. You know, so we have seasons, and that's been one of the downfalls. One of the things that have we've evolved quite a bit, but starting out in this sport, the seasons have really hurt Alaskans.
Yeah.
Because they do take a lot of time off in the summer, whether they're going fishing or whatever they're doing in the summer, right?
Yeah.
But the gyms are a lot less full, and there's no fights during the summer. Very few, very little. We've tried a couple here and there.
Yeah.
Right? I know the other promotion has done a couple, but not many, right?
Yeah.
We don't really do it much. And so the fighters, and like you said, it's even hard to find fighters sometimes in the summer. A lot of times I know fighters that are commercial fishermen that are going to be out in the processors. You know, it's Alaskan. It's just kind of the Alaskan way. But it's hurt us, and it's hurt the game a little bit when our guys are competing against some of the other individuals from outside that are, it's a year-round. It's been year-round. They got an established amateur program coming up for the youngsters, so they're starting younger, right?
Yeah.
So these guys that have a similar record to an average Alaskan, let's say we have an Alaskan that's got a record that's 4-2, and this other guy over here, he's also 4-2, but guess what? He's been an amateur for 5-10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's had a lot of scrimmages, and he's got a lot of experience. So although on paper with their record, they're the same weight, they're the same, record. If you don't do your real history on these guys, then it's really hard to tell who you're matching them up against. And so these guys from down south. So luckily, though, as we've been evolving, you see Alaskans training more serious year round.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It definitely has picked up. Like when I got into it, that was probably 2007, like right when I was graduating high school.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And not much has changed, like in the way like you can sign up, like because anyone can kind of sign up for it, but people weren't like really training back then, not to the extent they are now, like you're saying.
Right. Yeah.
Like shit, like I signed up and I just thought like I would be able to do it. I was like, man, I've been in plenty of fights, trained a little bit, and not near enough. We'll put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just no problem. You could go do it. But like I was like, I'm pretty confident the guy I'm fighting has never trained at all either.
Right.
And then like you'd go watch some shows and it'd be like that, and like I'd be in the crowd watching this show. I think that's how I found my third fight. Mm-hmm. This kid like won a fight. I was like, oh, I'd whoop his ass, and I just knew it right there. And then all it took was like an email and like, hey, I want to fight this kid. And then shit, like the next month later, like I was fighting that guy.
Yeah. And
it was just that easy. And like I said, you could just go and watch a show and be like, this guy's never trained before. Like, what is this guy doing? And people could probably easily see me and say the same thing. And they probably did, because looking back in hindsight, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, I shouldn't have been in there. Like, I'm one of those idiots who people were just like making fun of. But now, like, you go into gyms, like every gym in town has great fighters,
right? And
they're all like taking it super serious. They're all training hard.
Yeah.
Whether it's to like fight here locally, or like there's people going lower 48s and fighting down there. Yeah. There's people getting on contender series from up here, Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, we've had some amazing athletes lead the way, pave the way.
Yeah.
Right, and especially as of lately with like Jared Cannonier.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Like he's at the very, very top of the very, very top.
Oh yeah,
right?
And so weighs in today as a backup for tomorrow.
Absolutely, that's exciting.
And not that his first fight with Israel was great. He did win 2 rounds. We'll say that. And
that in itself is
right.
Saying quite a bit.
And the thing about it, like I was telling someone else the other day, like I made a post when they said he was going to weigh in as the backup. I was like, it should have been him the whole time.
Sure.
One. He has a win over Strickland recently.
Right.
He's coming off of, the better record. Strickland's 2-2 in his last 4 fights.
Why do you think they did that?
because Strickland he talks. People I assume they want to watch him get beat up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, man, like I'll watch the countdown or something, right? Or the embedded shows on YouTube, and I just fast forward through him. Like I can't even stand listening to him talk. Yeah. And if my buddy and I weren't like, he'd buy a pay-per-view, I'd buy a pay-per-view, going back and forth.
He's not a fun hype guy.
No, not at all. Like, and I was telling like people, like the people I talk to us, like I don't even want to watch him fight. Like, like he seems so disingenuous. Like he tries so hard to pretend he's not trying.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's just too much for me. Like I don't want to listen to you. Like you purposely act like an asshole.
I disagree so wholeheartedly.
I know, like it's you I'm talking to, right? Like when
I love Sean Strickland so much.
Yeah, you've bought into it.
Yes,
exactly.
I've bought into
you're
the
all
hype.
in, baby. You
I
bought
don't
in.
care.
Yeah,
he's
and like,
man.
and I don't mind like the other guys who do it. Like who get big off of talking, like Chael Sonnen. Like I liked Chael before he started talking, a little bit. Like I watched him in WC, and I loved him after he started talking. But he did it like, I don't want to say tastefully because obviously he was like a dickhead and like talked bad about Brazil and all this other stuff. Pretty brutal. But it was fun to listen to. Colby takes it a little too far, but I feel like Colby backs it up so hard.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, you're gonna like it's really cringy to listen to, but all right, you could fight. When Sean Strickland does it, and you notice like he loses all the top guys, and then he's 2-2 in his last 4, and his 2 wins are coming off of guys you've never heard of, unranked guys.
Simmer down.
Let's give him a title shot because he
put some respect on Sean Strickland's name. 3rd ranked in the UFC.
I don't even know how he's 3rd. Like he lost his, like I said, 2-2.
Why are you so impressed with him? Like what was it? What has he done that has really got you?
I just like Sean Strickland. He's it's just a character. It is.
The UFC told him to like him.
He's got his fights are cool. His fighting style is unique. It's a really style built on just him sparring all the time.
Reminds me of his fighting style. Is it the Sock'em Bop'em Robots? Is that the old school when they stand straight up tall and like only their elbows move? I just picture him walking around the octagon, just throwing punches like that.
I can't stand the disrespect.
I can't
Strickland for president.
We've had some really good guys. People paved the way. You know who doesn't get enough credit? Fighter out of Alaska is Jake Hewen, Honey Bear. You watch him?
It's like old school fighter. Right?
Oh yeah, he's fun, tough man. He won a huge fight over in I think Japan.
Yeah,
over in Japan, a huge fight in front of 50,000 people or something. Absolutely insane. Like one of the biggest, like the Super Bowl of fights over there.
Yeah,
and he beat a guy that was the favored big time over him. Right, one of their heroes, and I think he knocked him out if I remember correctly. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
but you don't hear his name enough for his accomplishment for what he's done. Being an MMA fighter out of Alaska, you don't hear him enough. He did some awesome stuff.
I feel like Alaska's just like so like I don't even think landlocked is the word because we're not locked in, but we're so just out of touch from like the lower 48 that like when I was in Florida, like if you wanted to like compete, you could go to 4 different states around you, right?
Yeah.
And so like I said, like no seasons, everything's in reach down in the lower 48s. No matter where you are, you're surrounded by. In Alaska, like
look at the fighter pool you have.
Yeah,
I mean the fighter pool is amazing down there.
Yeah,
the amount of people that contact me from down there is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean there are a lot of fighters looking to fight.
Yeah,
yeah.
So how is your luck with like bringing fighters from lower 48s up to here? Does it happen like every card?
No, it's not every card. It's we've done it a few times. We haven't even done it a lot. We've done it a few times, and it's been successful every time. Now we have had I don't want to say a lot, but we've had a few fighters that got committed that they were going to come up, and then you make the commitment, you buy tickets, and you do these things, and then the fighter, is like, nah, changed my mind. I got my old lady pregnant, something like that. You know what I mean? And so you're like, holy cow! Now I'm I'm $1,000 into this guy, and he's not coming.
Yeah.
So stuff like that's kind of frustrating. We try to promote, build, and support as many local fighters as possible. Right?
Yeah. Good.
And so by helping with the more gyms that I see show up, the happier I get. I just love it. I love to see the sport grow. I love to see the gyms, all disciplines. I'd like to see more Muay Thai.
Yeah.
But it's that's what we're doing here. Bringing fighters in from outside is a lot of fun, especially if they can promote themselves, or if they have some history from here, or if it's a title shot and they're a big step up or something that's going to help out a fighter from here if they win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that's beneficial. Then it's great. We bring them like Tom Theocaris is our 185 champ, and Tom's a lot of fun to bring up.
Yeah,
he's a lot of fun.
So your cards, are they amateur? Are they pro? Is it a mix of both?
So they're pro, and that's a real tough thing. Yeah, and that's a real tough thing about Alaska is not having an established amateur MMA program.
Yeah,
it's tough. So now, I know Ben Bennett up in Fairbanks has done some amateur programs.
I thought he also fought
fights.
in pro promotions as well. I thought he fought in LFA, if I remember correctly.
No, I'm talking about his promotion. So Ben Bennett threw fights up in Fairbanks.
Oh, okay.
He threw a few. Okay. He had a few shows up in Fairbanks, and so he was putting together an amateur program.
That's cool.
And he was, he worked pretty hard on it for a while. He did good, but obviously with his career, he had to move on to other things, and he's doing great. But he's one of the few guys that understood that for the sport to grow properly and the talent pool to get bigger and better, the youngsters, we got to get them. People started doing MMA at a younger age.
Yeah.
We really do. And they've got really good established, altered rules, some different rules for MMA. It's just hard to get people. We have a culture now in Alaska to where people aren't going to fight unless they get paid.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And you can understand that, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, when I got into it, it was only pro fights, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I got well out of it that they started bringing in amateur fights too.
Yeah.
So like I said, the amateur scene hasn't even been around the entire time here.
Right. No.
We don't even have a state commission.
No. Yeah. Right. One of the few, probably got to be the few states that are
like that. Montana, Alaska, and something else. We're also the state with the safest record.
Yeah.
Safest MMA record.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, that says something in itself. So, self-governing is important if you do it responsibly.
Yeah.
To do responsible self-governing. And promoters communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And have good rapport with each other and let each other know about things, this or that. Maybe this fighter shouldn't fight. Maybe they got a concussion over here.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't fight, next week over there.
Yeah.
Right. So these are important aspects, and we've got to knock on some wood, but we've got an amazing safety record. Absolutely, we've had over 175 events with no major serious injury, and when I say major serious injury, we've had broken bones and stuff that comes with the territory, right? But we've done really well. There's been no fatalities. I don't even know of one in the state of Alaska, and Thursday night of the fights down there at the Egan Center, they've been doing this for I think 35 years.
Damn.
But then what they do is way different. They do roughhouse boxing and kind of like a roughhouse version of MMA.
Yeah.
Per se, but still, even with having said that, with the people that are fighting there, with them to still keep things responsible, fairly matched, things like this, they keep people from getting seriously injured.
The fuck is that? Yeah. So at your shows, what kind of sporting events are you putting on? Obviously MMA. Are you doing boxing in there too? Or are you throwing Muay Thai fights in?
Yep, absolutely, all three. So we boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, and we're the first people to have a bare knuckle boxing match.
Nice.
A couple years ago during COVID. We stayed going.
Yeah.
And even when everybody else shut down, we kept going.
I was going to ask you if you had the bare knuckle, because what we had on the screen playing earlier was Jorge Masvidal's Game Bred Bare Knuckle MMA.
That's beautiful.
And the main event is Junior Dos Santos versus Fabricio Verdum 2 tonight. So
wonderful, yeah.
So by the time this comes out,
who do you got?
Oh, JDS.
Yeah.
I saw him weighed in, and if I didn't watch the picture of the weigh-in, I probably wouldn't vote JDS, but he's back on the juice. He's got a big 6-pack going. He looks in shape.
He's back on the juice.
Oh yeah, you could tell. So yeah, I got to go for him on that. So it should be fun though.
He's got hands. Boy.
I've been watching some of these fights, and these dudes can fight.
Oh yeah, they're like real
brutal,
real
real
MMA
deal.
guys.
They're the real deal.
It's tough. Like, and then I just watched.
You watch Alan Belcher?
Oh, the heavyweight champ, right?
Oh yeah,
Ben, I watched how he did not respond to Ben Rothwell's call out for that title fight.
Oh, yeah.
And but compared to Ben Rothwell, he is not a heavyweight.
No.
So.
But have you watched some of his fights his title fights and stuff? Did you watch him?
I've watched highlights of it.
He's a beast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's a beast. He's extra juicy too now. Yeah. Since he left the UFC, he got into it. I think he got into bodybuilding or something for a while. So like he got real jacked up, and now he's the heavyweight champ of bare knuckle.
Right.
So I mean, hey, good for him.
How do you feel about bare knuckle? Do you like it?
So
in general, bare knuckle.
I wasn't a fan of it when I first heard it. Like I was just like, all right, this is a little too much. Like they're maybe going off for like a target audience that wasn't going to be there. Mm-hmm. But after watching some of them, I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And then like I said, like I was watching the Game Bread thing earlier. I was like, all right, I'm interested. I'm never going to pay for it.
That's like raw pugilism.
I think the bare knuckle MMA is much better than boxing in my opinion.
Hey, did you watch any ground and pound on that?
Yeah. Whew. Some of those dudes
I don't know.
Nasty, dude.
It was
How's
tough.
that any worse than an elbow though? I mean,
you're right. You ain't lying. That's
when you think about it. So you can look. I mean, you can play both sides of that. You know, the bare knuckle MMA and bare knuckle boxing. You can play both sides of it. But from a boxer's point of view, who's done this for a long time and seen more fights than almost anybody I know, just because of how many shows we've held.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle boxing is less damaging long term than boxing with gloves.
Oh man,
that is what I've heard.
Yeah.
So that sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? It's hard.
So the only reason like I don't believe it, and not that I do or don't, but just to like play devil's advocate is like how much research is there in that? Like boxing's been around forever, right? Like and bare knuckles been around for.
That's what. No. Bare knuckles. That's how it started.
Oh, I guess.
So bare knuckle's been around for way longer.
Yeah.
Right, and they have all the history from bare knuckle, old school from back then. Yeah. Guys were fighting how many rounds?
Dudes broke their hands less.
If they got knocked down, then it was then it was a round. The rules that they used at the time. So they'd have like 100 rounds. Because they would have a full round and then they'd have a round that was quick because someone got knocked down, they got back up. That's a round.
Is that the rules in it now too?
No, but that's the way it used to be.
That's how it started.
Yeah. And guys would be like 100-round fights, right? Bare knuckle boxing, right? And so the thing is that with the gloved hand, the glove is really there to protect the hand, not really the fighters per se, right? And so it's just a little extra weight. Mm-hmm. And it really prevents there from being as many cuts and stuff, which may stop a fight when it should be stopped. Yeah. Right? So these gloved hands are just continuously concussion, right? Yeah. Okay. And so these guys can last longer for the whole longer fight. Like we used to have 15-round fights. When I was younger, we would watch 15-round fights on TV, and these guys would battle for the full 15 rounds, just taking a beating. But there were no cuts. There were no, obviously none of the things that MMA. So even Muay Thai, Muay Thai is a different game. Yeah. But so I'm just saying, I think the boxing with the gloves can be, if not officiated correctly, and people let them go too far, they can be more worse than.
That's one of the reasons I don't like boxing, is just because you can get knocked down and then get back up. You could literally be completely asleep and then wake up in the 10 seconds and get up and do your walk. And
you could just be a tough guy and just completely screwing yourself.
Yeah. That's the only reason I think.
And that
I don't like boxing.
A lot of, and the fighter spirit. I love boxing. Don't get me wrong, but the fighter spirit sometimes don't know when to quit. And if you don't have a responsible referee, and thank goodness we've had some amazing referees.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have a responsible referee, then that's when people start to get hurt.
Shout out Jared Simmons.
Hey, you know what I mean? Very professional, safe. Will stop. Hey, I would rather have a referee be accused of a little early stoppage now and again than, whoa, man, he should have stopped that one time. I'd rather have 100 little baby early stoppages or something, than one, whoa, he should have stopped that.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And so in this game, because ultimately fighter safety is number one, and
55 minutes.
Yep.
All right. we'll get back into the fight card coming up that you have coming in. Yeah. You want to do some predictions on this pay-per-view coming up tomorrow? By the time it comes out, this will be it'll already come out by the time this is aired, but we'll talk about it a little bit. The early prelims.
The only name I'm familiar with here is Blood Diamond.
No, I know Shane Young too. I think he's an Australian guy. He's like out of like the Israel camp, I'm pretty sure, and Blood Diamond. So we'll skip that one. Jamie Malarkey, he's always fun. Same thing, the Australia guy.
They're gonna have a lot of Australia guys on this card.
Oh, for sure. Carlos Olberg. So I mean, Jamie Malarkey, like don't let the name or like the picture of the guy fool you, because he's good. Like I don't know what his record says from here.
16-6.
But he's had some like good knockouts, and always surprising ones over some decent name guys. But John McDessie, that dude's been around forever.
You know, when they show their record like that, I wish they'd show like how many of those pro fights are UFC.
Yeah. Yep. Instead of like in just John McDessie's case, it could just be like some small Canadian show like no one's ever heard of. And same for Malarkey. It could just be a small Australian show. Exactly. Like
only show the UFC record.
Yep. It'd be nice to show the UFC record under it. That's for sure. And some promotion, I thought, it probably wasn't UFC, but another promotion used to do that. And it might be Bellator or PFL, but they show that record. Not that it means too much, because some of those Bellator fights are pretty shit. Carlos Olberg is the main guy for the prelims. Honestly, not a great headline for the prelims, but
a lot of the memes that I've been seeing is that it's pretty shit card.
Yeah, it is. Going through the prelims, it is. Let's just go to the main card. I don't even know who Anton Turkalj is.
He's 8-2.
8-2 in Sweden.
Right. See that.
But then you got Tyson Pedro, who's been in the UFC for a bit.
Sure.
I think they're just setting Tyson Pedro up to have a nice win on the Australia card, honestly. Same thing. Justin Tafa versus Austin Lane. I think that is a rescheduled fight. I think that was on a couple months ago, and it got stopped for an eye poke or something.
Huh.
And the Austin Lane, I think he was like a Contender Series guy, but like a fit heavyweight and coming off a bunch of like.
Is that why that's a draw? It looks like it's a draw.
Decision, no contest right here.
No contest.
Was it them?
Yeah.
Same guys? All right. Yeah.
So before that, though, he's coming off 2 wins.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who they were, but so that should be fun. Justin Tafa has been around, and I think his brother is Junior Tafa, who also just came off a fight like that, a rescheduled fight for an eye poke. So bad luck for them. But it should be fun. I've never seen Austin Lane fight, but they hyped him up to like it was going to be a fun one, because Justin Tafa is down to just throw down. So I'll just pick Justin Tafa just because of that. I don't even think his record's that great. He's like a
6-3 to 12-3.
Something. Oh shit, yeah. Well, I'll still go Justin Tafa. In Australia, I feel like it would be good for him.
Oh yeah, the Aussie crowd's normally pretty hype.
Manel Cape. Did you guys see the press conference?
I haven't. No,
I only watched highlights of it
know.
because Sean Strickland was there.
I'm gonna have to watch it though.
Oh my god, I bet it's gay.
I did see a bunch of the highlights.
Yeah. Did you watch the Manel Cape thing? Like he was up there yelling at somebody, and Israel stood up, and he was like, "Sit down, boy."
I did see little clips of that.
And then he's like yelling at Israel, like, "Who
you
is
think?
he?"
You think the WWE acquisition or come together? Do you think that's played in?
It.
Have you seen more of that since the merger?
I wouldn't doubt
between the two.
I don't know if it would, or if it's just like people like that grew up watching, like who got into MMA because they saw Conor fight or something. They're like, this is how we got to do it. Or Chael. I think the Chael era is gone, but yeah, Colby, and they're seeing like Sean O'Malley. They're going to see how bad that plays out for
characters. Yeah.
So they're seeing all these characters. I think they're just like, that's what we need to do. Sure. And like they're not going to live up to that type of hype. It's pretty bad. But yeah, I watched him do that, and like it was just hard to watch. Tai Tuivasa and Alexander Volkov, that should be fun.
It should be good. I like
that's
Volkov.
Gonna be a banger.
Volkov's been like,
that's going to be a banger.
He was good, and then like he had like a little bit of bad luck, but then he got real good again, and I think he's gonna I think he'll beat Tai Tuivasa, and I love Tai.
I love both of them.
Yep.
They could either one of those guys knock each other out.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a puncher's chance either one of those guys at any moment.
Yep. But just like pure technical, I think Alexander would win. But like you said, it's hard to pick a heavyweight fight because of that puncher's chance.
Right.
I hope Tai wins just because I want to watch him dance at the end or do something.
I want to see a shoey.
So I think we'll see that regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do think Alexander Volkov will win. But again, in Australia, it's tough. That crowd's going to be behind him and pump him up.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, the main event's not even close. Israel wins by knockout
Disrespect.
whenever he wants.
Whenever he wants.
Look at that. Look at the takedown accuracy, 64-29.
Takedown accuracy? Yeah, wait.
Come on.
No, you got to go takedown accuracy
How's
against
he,
takedown defense.
All right. So if
Look at his
how's he do
takedown
it?
average.
How's Israel do
Yeah, how's he do it?
It's just embarrassing KO.
No,
Face
Israel
kick.
says he's been working with Craig
Right.
Jones to counter the wrestling. You know,
I think he knocks him out with his hands, and I think Sean Strickland just folds and just face down. Like, I don't think he can handle it at all.
Timber.
I think it's gonna be a lot like that Pereira fight. Like, he's just gonna
Disrespect.
get caught, and you're just gonna watch him crumble.
I can't stand for it.
Yeah, you think Sean Strickland's honestly gonna win?
I don't like the Chinaman.
Nice. I've seen the memes.
That's funny.
Yeah, Israel. Is that who you're going
Oh,
for?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not even close.
I think he's going to make it fun, though. I think he's going to pick them apart. I think Strickland's going to come in strong, but he's going to run into like a straight kick to the face or something.
I hope he doesn't
that.
even make it fun. I hope he just like shuts him down quick, and he's like, "I'm going home. I'm going back to China."
Strickland's only prayer would be to just come at him like
someone hits him with a lead pipe in the back or something.
maybe yeah, something.
I cannot stand
So-
it.
A reference
A third
that
party,
no one
yeah.
watching would get. Yeah, not a great card, honestly. And if I didn't have to buy it, I wouldn't. But it's my turn to pay for the pay-per-view, so I'll buy it.
Hey, back to my show.
Yep, it
I want
comes
you
up.
there.
Huh?
I want you to come.
Man, now I got a job. We got some money. I can get back to training.
I got a ticket for you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm there.
All right.
Nice.
I'll have you at cage side.
Awesome, man. I would
Yeah.
love to go.
Sweet.
So October 13th,
Yeah,
Friday the
13th,
13th. So coming up next month, just over a month away. Who's the main event?
Al Mateo versus Shannon Simpson.
Oh shit,
That'll be
Yeah.
good.
that is good. Is there a belt on the line for that?
It depends. So they're both the weight that they're coming in. It's going to be like a catch weight.
Oh.
The weight that they're coming in is
Okay.
going to be a little bit off on both ends, and so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But if the weight comes in right, then it will be. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. You got a co-main for it?
Yeah. Here, let me get this poster.
Yeah, let's see it.
So this is my wife put this together. She's doing a great job. So this is rudimentary because this fight's not sealed anymore. But this right here is what we've got going on so far. It's awesome. This is an awesome card. We got a boxing match.
Okay.
Yeah, this boxing match right here. Both of those gentlemen were champions. So Jeremiah Sierra is the current Alaska State champion, and John Ray Jones is the former champion. They're going to fight each other. Those are the two most technical boxers in the game right now in Alaska.
Nice.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal boxers. Great. We have a good MMA fight, D. Hart versus Kennedy. Both of those guys they have some good wrestling background and are both training really hard to smash each other. It's going to be awesome. Another boxing match, Cody Rice versus Shannon Maddox. These guys are good.
Yeah.
And they hit hard. And
Yeah.
they're going to be dropping bombs. And it's really exciting. And the Sierra Jones, Sierra just won. He won a tournament down in the States, and I think it was was it a Ring magazine? No, Ring. Was it a Ring tournament?
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
It was like he won a major tournament, amateur tournament,
Nice.
boxing tournament. He did really well, and he's got another one that he's going to do. I think he's going to be Golden Gloves. He's just doing a great job in boxing. And John Ray Jones is so dangerous. He punches from angles like you just don't see people do much anymore at all.
Yeah.
You know, he's like got that Prince Nassim Hamed angles coming from each side and stuff. Just absolutely phenomenal. We just got some really good fights. We had a good fight. We're looking right now for a fighter for a 150 pounder. for a first timer who's training good, and he's tough. He's looking for a fighter. His fight fell apart, but
is his name Kevin?
Huh?
No. Well.
No, it's not. It's Ragnar. So,
okay.
Ragnar Siegel.
Okay.
Yep. And so we're looking for him, and but we got a great card lined up so far. We got some awesome sponsors. Hey, tomorrow night I'm going to be watching these fights at Klondike Mike's.
Yep.
Out in the valley, and so if anybody wants to come out to Klondike Mike's, come check it out.
And that's like every pay-per-view, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so this will come out after the Israel fight, but yeah, every pay-per-view. I see you posting about it, so if you're out there, man, go check that out.
Klondike Mike's is a spot. Plus, we have ticket giveaways to our show.
Nice.
At Klondike Mike's, so there's a good opportunity to win free tickets to the fights. We have other swag and giveaways and stuff from some of the beer sponsors and stuff like that. So it's a good time. We have a lot of fun out there. Announce the fights. They have good food, reasonably priced drinks if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. We're so excited about this card. It's Friday the 13th. We're gonna have little decorations and stuff like that. We're gonna celebrate the season.
Nice.
It's gonna be awesome. A lot of fun.
Good.
We're in live streaming.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, super excited. Live stream, and the guy's doing it is real professional outfit, and he just does a stand-up job. We're real excited to see what that brings. That takes your fights. You're like this. The world is now your audience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's awesome. And we have a lot of attention coming in from all over the place already, and so we just love to build our brand.
Nice.
And build Ace.
Nice. Well, let's hope it keeps building. Kevin, you got any fights coming up? Anything? Nothing since the last one. Did that fight ever come through? Well, hopefully we get you on this card then. We got a fight coming up, a fight card coming up October 13th. If we're lucky, Kevin will be on it. If not, another fight soon.
November 10th is the one after the 13th. We have another one November 10th.
Nice. It's good. So they're already lined up. Billy, where can no Instagram, right? Just Facebook.
Facebook, right.
If they want to find info about the fights, where can they find info?
So the best place to find info about the fights is on Facebook, Alaska Combat Entertainment or ACE Facebook page. That's the best place. But we have ticket outlets out in the valley. If you want to in Wasilla, you can go to A1 Pawn, or you can go to Alaska Elixirs. So those are both ticket outlets in Wasilla, and you can also heading down the Palmer Wasilla Highway. Midnight Sun Tanning, or you can go into Palmer and you can get tickets from Klondike Mike's.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there's all your info on where to get tickets, where to get info. Go to the Facebook page, Kevin Alaskan Scum on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
The Mediocre Grappler on Instagram.
Hey, can I say one thing for the fighters?
Please do.
So check it out, guys. For the fighters, that we encourage you to buy tickets from the fighters.
Yeah.
If you can, right?
Yes.
So we want to give the fighters the opportunity to sell tickets, make a little extra money. So when you see the fighters presented, hit them up. Buy some tickets from them.
Yep. Support them. Support Ace.
Absolutely.
And October 13th, check it out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on, Billy.
You're awesome, brother.